Welcome to the podcast. Stop Crying Poser, greatest podcast known to man as voted by Rafiki, Mufasa, and those of you, and Simba, and Timon, and Pumbaa, and OG Mickey, and Keith Skates, and Infamy, and Day Day, and Meatball Head, and Chillin' Pete, and Gullah Gullah Island, and iBook Boy, and OG Mickey Day Day. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in here live. The time is 3:33 p.m. We do this podcast every single Friday right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. I don't think it's going to be a long podcast. Last week was a great one. You guys know right after the podcast, I give myself a little bit of like a rating. I'm like, oh, that was a 9 out of 10 podcast. That was a 10 out of 10 podcast. Last week was like a 9 or a 10. This week, let's just not get our hopes up. But one thing we can always get our hopes up about is winning a free Ninja Lifestyle sticker pack, the only podcast in the world on the internet giving away Ninja Lifestyle stickers for free every single Friday. As long as you live in America, all you have to do is answer this question correctly, and I will mail you some stickers. Last week's winner, I believe, was Day Day. I sent those stickers out on Monday. Maybe they're already at his doorstep. I don't know. All he had to do was answer a question correctly. Today's question is regarding the movie Lion King. That's why I said Mufasa and Simba and shit, because they're on my screen. You guys can't see exactly what I'm seeing on the screen, but the question is this: what motto does Simba learn from Timon and Pumbaa? Everyone should be familiar with this phrase because you've probably heard me say this phrase anywhere between 500 and 1,000 times. I've probably said this Timon and Pumbaa phrase, or at least part of it. Right, I stole it from, I think, Talladega Nights, but Talladega Nights stole it from The Lion King. And Keith Skates says, Hakuna Matata, bitches, OG Mickey, too little too late, Meatball Head is in last place, get there while you can. That does remind me of Lion King, get there while you can. That's, get there while you can. We're eating bugs and partying and hanging out with some orphan-ass lion who would usually eat us. Get it while you can. That should have been my calling in life, is making Disney music. Anyways, Keith is the winner, so send me your address and I will get these stickers out to you probably tomorrow or Monday. What's been going on? Well, at the top of my list is a movie. I usually save the movie topics for last. Actually, the first thing we usually talk about is what did I do this week? And although I've been streaming and drinking and hanging out, Asian John's been in town, but as far as what did I do this week, nothing really stands out. I went to Arts District, I think on Saturday or Sunday or way earlier in the week. It's like the artsy area of town, right? Everywhere else in this city, you can smoke a cigarette in a bar. You know, you can order like a Budweiser, but you go to this area of Las Vegas called Arts District, and it's like hipstery, right? There's art galleries, there's bars where they like light the drink on fire, no cigarettes allowed, dress code. What else is over there? Oh, on the corner of every street, there's like some sculpture of some bullshit. Everyone's wearing like, I don't know, like weird things are coming out of their, like the outfits are from like the 40s. There's a bunch of thrift stores. It's a real interesting place. I went to a bar called the Nightmare Cafe. You walk in there, it's filled with clowns and like dead, like scary, like dead, rotting like skeletons and people, like scary movies and bloody knives, and on the walls like a bunch of like Nightmare Before Christmas art and shit. And I went in there and I got a Michelob Ultra. And I got one of their specialty cocktails. They charged me $15 for a lemon drop, so that was great. Oh, they called it like a scary lemon drop, but it wasn't. It was just vodka and like lemon juice and some sweet shit. So That was a fun way to spend $15. Oh yeah, no slot machines down there either. So that was like really the most exciting thing that I did. Went to an art gallery. Have never been in an art gallery before. A lot of art. Okay, listen, I'm not the guy to be critiquing art, but I noticed something that I probably should have known already. There's a lot of art in this building that's really cool. And then you look at the price tag and you go, okay, like $10,000 for this small picture? And you go, I could see that. This probably took somebody a really long time to do. It's a neat concept, you know, like cool painting or whatever. And then you go into the next room and it looks like a fucking bird shit on the ground and it says $20,000. And you're like, what? $20,000 for bird shit? What? And I'm looking at all these pieces of art. There was one where it was just like, I swear to God, you know, like the stickers they put on boats, or like they're just letters and numbers. Somebody just took a bunch of stickers of letters and numbers, randomly put them on some wall. Boom, $8,000 artwork. Just for, you went to fucking Home Depot, you spent $15, you peeled the sticker off and you put it on a canvas. Boom, $15,000, $30,000. So I should have expected that. There's a lot of art out there that just fucking sucks. And it feels like money laundering. That was my first thought when I went in there. It feels like money laundering. There's no way someone would just scribble chicken scratch on a canvas, just scribble bullshit onto a canvas and then sell it for $10,000. Unless there's somehow like cleaning drug money or something. I can't be the only one that's ever thought of that. And again, if I do ever become like an embezzler or a drug dealer, or what do they do in Ozark? That's mostly drugs, right? Whatever they do, Breaking Bad, big meth dealer. I'm underneath the fucking the fried chicken place, just making meth. The way that I would clean the money, art gallery, right? I just fucking scribble some bullshit on a wall. I write the word Hakuna Matata, bitches, in Sharpie. And then I sell it for $40,000, but I'm secretly selling it to myself. That's got to be the way to do it. I don't know. You see, listen, I'm not an expert on money laundering, but I know that it's gonna have something to do with the art gallery. They were fucking around in Breaking Bad. They tried to do it with like a laundromat or something, or a car wash. Fuck you. It's all about fine art, dude. Anyways, that was fun. That's really like all I did this week. So I basically I watched a 7-hour movie on sumo wrestling and I loved it. So before I explain it to you guys, it's not in English. No, it's gonna take up a lot of your time. If you're like a casual fan of sumo, like if you see sumo wrestling on TV and you don't turn the channel, I would call you a casual fan. I consider myself a casual fan. These big fucking dudes just built like tanks, just beating the fuck out of each other. And then a bunch of like, this guy's just yelling, and then like people are clapping and then they're throwing shit. I don't know, just really interesting sport that I don't understand any part of. Whenever I'm lucky enough to turn it on TV and I have the English, like the English dub, that's always the best, but usually it's not. So anyways, I watched this movie on Netflix called Sanctuary. It's about some guy who wants to join sumo because he's a great street fighter and he's trying to earn money for his family, but he's like hard-headed. He doesn't like to follow instructions. And it's him like just going through his sumo career. And again, I'm not super educated on how it works, but from what I've read and seen in little mini documentaries, if you're like new to sumo, you have to be everyone else's bitch. So let's say you're new in like the gym, the stable. You're the new guy, and there's a guy that's been there for 3 years, and he's won hundreds of matches. He's won a bunch of tournaments. You gotta cook for him. You gotta do his laundry. You gotta give him a massage. And then I'm watching this movie. Turns out you gotta wipe this fool's ass because he's so fat he might not want to. Plus, this guy he's pretty badass at sumo. If you don't wipe his ass, he's gonna fuck you up. I didn't know that it was. I mean, it seems normal now, but inside of like the small gyms, the small stables, there's even smaller beefs among teammates, which makes sense because I did jiu-jitsu like 10 years ago, and I did it for almost 2 years, like a year and a half. And there was a lot of like mini beefs in the gym. There's a lot of people that even though you train with them every single day, you fucking hate them. You would never have a beer with them, you know, especially when you add in egos and shit. So I'm watching the sumo video, like movie. It's basically a movie. It's 8 episodes. Each episode's an hour. So if you guys are vaguely interested, it gets my seal of approval. I don't like to click things like this on Netflix because I know, okay, if I like the first episode, I'm stuck here for like 7 more hours. But I liked it, and Netflix is burned me a lot. There's a lot of shows on Netflix like top 10 of the week that you click it and you go, oh my mother of God, this is the worst. Filming's awful, dialogue's awful, acting's awful, lighting's awful, music's awful. You're like, how the fuck is this the top 10? It's like, oh, because there's almost a tit being showed in the thumbnail or something. Like, oh, top 10 today. Oh man, Netflix likes to burn you. But sumo documentary was pretty good. What else has been going on? Oh, I discovered while live on Twitch. By the way, we stream here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle usually 4 to 5 days a week. So if you're only tuning in for the podcast, feel free to join us for our late night streams. We usually stream Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from about 7 p.m. to around midnight. What is that? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Usually 5-hour streams-ish on those days. That's Pacific time. So like 7-ish to 12. It's a lot more interactive. You know, here on the podcast, I don't really respond to the chat very much. But if you want to hang out, it's the best way. Especially like, not that I'm too cool to respond to DMs, but sometimes someone will send me a DM and it goes into spam or it goes into hidden messages. I never see it, and it might have been something interesting. If anyone out there just wants to chat or hang out, feel free to follow me on Twitch. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I discovered while on stream that Las Vegas has a giraffe and a petting zoo. I've never been to a petting zoo. I like looking at animals. In fact, yesterday I went to the park to take my dog to the park where there's ducks. He likes to chase these ducks and bark at them, and he likes to get his feet in this toxic water of this disgusting lake, which, by the way, I saw fish. I want to go fishing soon. I know where the fish are now. So we go to this park. I see these ducks. I see like a swan, maybe. I see a goose, and then I see some fucking animal I've never seen before. Turns out I think I saw a crane. Why is there a crane in a Las Vegas fucking toxic pond? I don't know. I took a picture of it. I'll probably put that in the Discord. Why was I talking about this? Oh yeah, petting zoo. I was trying to explain that I like animals, all right? There's this petting zoo. They got goats, right? Monkeys, whatever, a donkey, you know, some other, who knows what they are, other animals. And listen, I was kind of drunk last night. I drank a 211. New flavor came out. Strawberry daiquiri flavor came out. I had to buy it. So I'm drinking that, getting kind of drunk at home, watching TV. And I try to say the word petting zoo out loud, and I say nutting zoo. Oh, well, yeah, we should go to the nutting zoo, which, you know, it might have been one of those slips where you're like, whoops, told you what I really wanted. I want to be in the nutting zoo right now. I thought it'd be fun. I thought it'd be funny. Well, first off, I was trying to figure out what would a nutting zoo be, and it's got to be either one of two things. Either you go to the zoo and every animal's nutting, or you go to the zoo and you nut on the instead of petting the animals. Like at a petting zoo, you pet the animals. At a nutting zoo, you go there and you nut on the animals. So probably not the next $1 million idea, but I will tell you how excited I was writing down in my notes, petting zoo / nutting zoo. There was no topic. There was nothing for me to elaborate on the nutting zoo. I just thought that was a funny way to mispronounce a word. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that at some of these zoos, there's monkeys and all they do is jack off, right? That could be the nutting zoo. I believe I saw somewhere on YouTube, and I never want to see this again. I believe I saw a chimpanzee or orangutan or some type of primate shit in his hand and throw it into the crowd, and it hit an old lady. And I feel like at this point, it would have been a smart move to like put like plexiglass up, especially. Well, then, actually, you know what? Maybe that'd be a bad idea, because then there'd be shit stains all over it all the time. But I promise you that old lady would have been a lot happier without having animal shit thrown at her face. And it didn't like just graze the side of their face. It landed, I believe it landed directly on their face, and instead of sliding down, you know, like imagine throwing something at a window and it slides down. It just perfect Mark Ruffalo execution, just right, boom, right on the face. Shit sat there. And you know what? Old people, you've been through a lot. You've been through enough. War, you know, a lot of old people have been through war, jobs, life, birth, death of your friends. You really don't need to be getting shit thrown at you at a zoo. So we need to protect the old people at the nutting zoo, especially in the giraffe tank. Last thing I want is for grandma to get nutted on by a giraffe. All right. Moving on. I think last week I wanted to talk about this show that I saw on Netflix as well called Love, Death, Robots. It's a bunch of short animated like mini films, and they all have to do with either love, death, or robots, and the animation style is really cool. I can't remember if we talked about that last week, but if you guys are like acid people or mushroom ingesters, strongly suggest watching Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. If grandma got nutted on by a giraffe, it would just hit the top of her head. That sounds like it'd be a great sequel to Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Grandma got nutted on by a giraffe coming home from our house Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as giraffe cum, but as for me and Grandma, we believe. Oh man, imagine the people out there, the deniers, the giraffe cum deniers. They're hanging out with the flat earthers. There's like, yeah, the earth is flat and giraffes don't come. And this guy just goes, well, you need to talk to my grandma about that, sonny. Also, the weed mixed with the alcohol gives me these ideas. And I start out thinking, man, these are great ideas. And then I write them down in my phone or on my notes. And then I wake up the next day and I look at these ideas and I say, damn, that was a stupid fucking idea. What I'm about to tell you is not one of those ideas. I'm not saying we're going to follow through with this, but how fun would it be if me and my real life friends, one of them is in the chat room right now, my real life like drinking buddies, my average everyday friends, what if we all designed our own puppet that looked like us, and then I made a YouTube channel that would just be us like like re-explaining, like reliving conversations from the past, like goofy drunken conversations at the bar, reliving them with our own voices but acted out with puppets that look like us. Like mine would have like glasses and a hat, but it would be like a real life conversation. And I've had these weird conversations. Like, think about it, you're getting drunk with these guys all the time. I have a perfect one. I remember one day I was coming in the house. It was me and this dude. We used to hang out. We don't hang out anymore. I was like, this is a running joke that I never forgot. He goes, hey, did you eat her pussy? I said, nah, I don't like to eat pussy anymore. Cold turkey. He goes, you quit eating pussy cold turkey? I said, no, her pussy looked like cold turkey. I think that'd be a perfect thing to reenact with puppets. Like, they're like looking at each other. I think that'd be a perfect skit. And that's just the beginning. These conversations happen every weekend, all the time. And we could have different sets. Yeah, one could be like at a bar. One could be like at the bowling alley. We could have like a puppet conversation at the bowling alley. Where else do we hang out at? We could have a bunch of LED lights and pretend we're in like a casino or something. I feel like that'd be funny. We gotta figure out how to get the audio going, or we could even do like live puppet shows on Twitch. Yeah, we're still it's a work in progress. We still need to come up with a good name, but I think that'd be great. Plus, it's a gold mine of content. We would never run out of content because as long as we're still hanging out on Fridays or going to barbecues or something, me and my friends, there's always something. You know what I need to do? Carry around one of these notepads around with me all the time. a lot of the times, especially like at the bar, I'll hear something funny and I'll write it down in my phone. For example, almost all of the podcast topics that during the pre-show when I look at my phone, those are coming from like drunken experiences. Last week, this bartender who's in his 50s or 60s says he says no cap, and I died laughing. And to turn that into a puppet skit would be great. The old man saying like lit no cap. I'm sure it's been done before, but it hasn't been done with puppets. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's a cheap, it's low production value. You know what I mean? It's not going to cost me more than $100. I think it'd be fun. And what just reminded me of that, I had a dream that my cameras all got stolen, and I woke up today. I woke up and like got out of my bed and walked into my kitchen, still thinking that all my camera equipment was stolen. That's weird how sometimes like reality doesn't quite kick in right away. I've had several times where I wake up, in the middle of the night, fucking jump out of bed, slam my bedroom door open and start running down the hallway because I'm trying to do something or escape something. And then I'm like, oh fuck, like that was a dream. Well, it happened today, but in a calm way. I get up, I fucking gotta pee, I want to go grab some water, and then I'm like, well, fuck, dude, my camera shit's gone. Like, what am I gonna do now? But then I realized that was all not real. I wonder if you guys ever have those dream experiences like that. I haven't had any crazy dreams. We did have the dream the other day of the floppy knife and the gun that fell apart. But anyways, the dreams, the puppets, a lot's been going on. What else happened this week? I skateboarded this week, and it's getting to that point in the year where I'm not going to be able to blame the heat. Like, I'm not going to be able to blame the weather on my shitty skateboarding, which is like, I don't feel like I'm copping out when I blame the weather, because truly it's impossible. Like, it's impossible to skate here in the summertime. You guys tell me, in the past 3 months of videos that I've put out, have any of them had a human being in the background? No one else on earth wants to go skateboarding in the summertime when it's hot here, because you can die. But once the heat is gone, then I'm not going to have anything to fall back on, right? If I try and do a skateboarding trick. The reason I bring this up is because today I put out a video where I tried to do a board slide across and down like a kinked box. And I tried it for an hour, and I literally did not even come close. I didn't stick it. I didn't finish the slide. I didn't even get through the kink. The farthest I slid was like 3 feet. If you guys haven't seen the video, check it out on my YouTube channel, Ninja Lifestyle, or you can check out ninjalifestyle.com. Anyways, whenever I fail at skating like that, I don't feel like I'm setting the bar very high. I gave myself a trick that would be challenging, that I thought I could pull off in 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. Well, an hour later, I haven't even come close. And eventually, I run out of gas. The sun starts hurting me. I can't breathe. It's hot. But what's going to happen in a month if I go back and try that trick and I fucking suck again? Also, I'm slowly finding out, and I always say this. I always say falling when you're old is different than falling when you're young. And I'm not quite going to call myself an old man yet. But falling, let me put it like this. Falling when it's your first year skating, no big deal. 23 years of falling every single day, finally those falls really fucking hurt. So I fell in this video, and when you watch the video, it looks like I barely fell at all. It looks like a nice, soft landing. But I landed on my butt cheek, which again, big, juicy boy. I got a big, juicy butt. So it absorbed a lot of it, but even that small fall from a small distance landing on my butt, I was out. I was done skating. My spine like locked up, my butt went numb, and it was over. There was no coming back. So it's gonna be like, I'm excited about the good weather, but when it comes to skating, my fear is that it's gonna be a really depressing couple months if I continue sucking balls at skating and I no longer have the weather to blame. Yeah, I try to be like a realist about it. I don't know if you guys ever struggle with this, maybe it's like the midlife crisis, but I'm like, dude, why didn't I pick like another hobby? Like what if I golfed? What if I was golfing every day for 23 years? I'd be a fucking monster. And I probably would find a way to make money off it by now. Maybe not being like a pro golfer, but golf lessons, working at a golf club, something. I don't fucking know, man. Something golf related or anything. Tennis. What if I would have gotten into tennis? Right? By now I'd be fucking teaching some fucking teenager how to play tennis for fucking $40 an hour. You know, so I guess it's the nature of the sport, right? You're in a sport where all you're doing is eating shit. Like there's very few football players. Not that skating is like football, but I wouldn't say that it's not unlike football. There's not a lot of guys that are pro for fucking 23 years. There's not a lot of people that can do these things for 23 years. Think about like motocross. You got a lot of like aggressive motocross riders that are pro or like competitive for 10, 15, 20 years. No, because every single day you're destroying your body. Skateboarding is also one of those awesome sports where like if I shoot a basketball and I miss the basketball, I can just go get the basketball and try again. If you jump down a 12 stair or a handrail and you mess up, you don't always have the opportunity to stand back up and just go for it again because your basketball like was slightly off. No, you're gonna lose your fucking foot. You're gonna break your fucking arm. You're gonna hit your fucking head. And it only takes one of those injuries to be a lifelong injury. You know, you look at these guys who have faded away. Mike Moe is the most like prominent example. Mike Moe had one single ankle injury. That was it. Never skated again. And you know, it's not like he was out fucking doing heroin every day, fucking 24 hours a day drinking beer at the bar. Nope. One small injury. And same as me, you know, it's my spine. A spine problem. So in that regard, skating sucks, which is what I wrote down in my notes. I simply wrote, skating sucks. Think about what else I could have been doing, right? Then again, as Doug says, you know, we don't remember the bad things. We remember the fun times we had. In this context, he says you don't remember how much money you spent on a skate trip. You remember how much fun you had. Same thing when it comes to skating as a whole, right? You don't remember all the rolled ankles and fucking broken arms and broken fingers and messed up knees and bad hips and bad spine. I mean, you do remember the bad spine because that will never heal on its own. But you don't remember all those times. You remember all the friends you made. You remember, you know, all the weird skating parties and barbecues and skate contests and trophies and high fives and shit like that. So whatever. Just skating sucks, dude. I'm really having this breakdown lately with skating, and it's like love hate. You know what I really need to do though? I think what would really help me is if I could just get back to work. You know, get this mental block out of my brain and get back to work on the mini ramp in the backyard, finish rebuilding that mini ramp. It's literally like 10 hours of work, only 10 hours. I could bang it out in 2 days if I fucking buckled up and did it. But it's hard to get motivated. If I could do that though, get my mini ramp back going. There's something comforting about skating in your own home, like at home, don't have to go. You know, if you want to skate with anybody, they go to you. And it's nice having like cold water nearby and skating on something that's not gonna fucking kill you. So I have plans to finish the mini ramp. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. We're gonna cut about 6 inches off the height, and we're gonna make it really short, so it's only gonna be there for stalls. Very excited about that. So the mini ramp hopefully coming soon. Last couple topics I got here. I started to watch a show called The Toys That Made Us. And the first episode was dildos. The second one was fleshlights. And the third one was Ninja Turtles, which they actually had both dildos and fleshlights for. I'm joking. That's not what that show is about at all. It made me think of about Ninja Turtles, and I watched the newest animated Ninja Turtles movie. And it's really corny. You know, it's made for kids, but all the music is like 90s hip hop. Not all of it, but a lot of the music's like 90s hip hop. So I feel like it's the ultimate movie for you to watch with your kid. Your kid's gonna appreciate the animation and the funny jokes and the dialogue, and you're gonna appreciate the nostalgia from, oh, I remember hearing these on the radio. I remember all these songs. I remember all these vibes. And I think that's the goal. I think that's a great strategy for Ninja Turtles to try to win over like the next generation and try and get like kids and parents both on board. Because if you know, anybody can sell an action figure to a kid, but how many can you sell to adults? And if you can relight the fire of Ninja Turtles for both kids and adults, it's like the ultimate like marketing scheme. So I really appreciated that, and I seen it, like I felt it when I was watching this. It's a shame that I don't have kids. No, it's not. It's a blessing that I don't have kids. But having like watching that with your kid, be like, yeah, I used to watch this show, and they're like, no way, old man. They had color back then, and I'd be like, shut the fuck up, you little bitch. Get back in the dungeon. I'll throw you some bread. I watched it with my dog Koopa, but he's not really a big Ninja Turtles fan. He's more an Animal Planet guy. He was really liking this gorilla show last night. We were watching a documentary about gorillas, and the dog was really loving it. Ninja Turtles, not so much. So I really liked the new Ninja Turtles animated movie. I think it's great for like two generations to watch. So if you guys are down for that, check it out. I got a little bit out of my comfort zone. I've been watching a lot of movies this week. You know, I told you guys watched 7 hours of Sumo, watched Ninja Turtles. I also watched an older one. I want to say it's from like the 70s or 80s. It was called The Last Unicorn. And for the fucking life of me, I don't remember what it was about, but I remember loving it. It's about some unicorn that goes on a magical quest with a wizard. And it's animated like Lion King or something. Like, it's got to be a much older film. And it was cool. This fucking unicorn goes on some wizard bullshit, and there's a bunch of fight scenes, and the unicorn like kills another animal or something, and then it turns into a person. I don't remember what I don't remember what the fuck happened, but I remember watching it and I was like, yeah, this is clever. You know, I see like the metaphors, or maybe I do, maybe I don't. See, I tell you guys, like, I didn't realize this. I hope you guys remember that I spent the first half of my life, like, being like, weed, dude. Who cares about weed? Because for me, everyone was just smoking weed because they wanted to look cool at the skate park, right? Which, you know, in my teens, that was me smoking weed. And then once I realized, like, oh, I don't really give a fuck about what I look like at the skate park, and I stopped forever. And then I got back on it to try to get off melatonin so I could sleep. And now that I'm watching movies while smoking weed, it's, to be honest with you guys, I don't want to give anybody like the wrong idea, but the movies are so much better. The movies are so much better. I'm like, what have I been missing out on, dude? What else do I need in life that I didn't know that I needed, or that I misrepresented in my mind? So the movies are great. It can turn a mediocre movie into a better. You know, it can turn a 6 into a 7, right? Weed with movies is kind of like what alcohol does to women. You know, you got yourself a 4. 2 211s later, it's a 9 out of 10. You're going full boner, you know, balls to the wall. Same as movies, right? You watch a movie, it's a 6 out of 10. You smoke weed, it's a 7. So, and what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? God put these things on earth for us, right? God invented weed to save bad movies, and God invented alcohol to save, you know, undesirable women. So that's yeah, amen. You know, amen. There you go. Fucking. That's it. I guess that's our final joke of the podcast. I appreciate everybody for being here. Can I get a hell yeah for those of us who made it to the end of the podcast? If you didn't make it to the end of the podcast, don't worry. You can catch the repeat. The rerun of this podcast comes out on Sunday, early in the morning on Sunday, on iTunes, on Podbean, on Podcast app, on Spotify. It's free. You can tell a friend about the podcast. I put it out on Sunday early in the morning for 2 reasons. Number 1, in case you want to watch it early in the morning, you know, or listen to it, or you can listen to it on Monday on the way to work. Also, I want to give people incentive to tune in live. We do this podcast every single Friday right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. You guys can tune in live, 3:30 p.m. It's free. It's always free, although feel free to leave a tip. I know some people, every once in a while, they'll tip like $2. They say, Ninja Lifestyle, I was having a bad day and you made me laugh. Here's $2. Good. There's no amount too small. In fact, thank you to iBookBoy for the resubscribe. iBookBoy has been subscribed for 31 months. I appreciate the support. I know in this Joe Biden economy, not everybody has extra money to just give away to a streamer, and I understand that. But you know what you do have? The ability to tell a friend about the podcast. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker about this podcast that made you laugh, made you cry, made you giggle, and sometimes it even makes you think. Makes you think about the bigger picture. What's really going on out there? Sometimes I go outside and sit on my rock and I think. I think about how it's gonna be. How it's gonna be for the next generation. What's my kid gonna do? Anyways, hope you guys all have a great weekend. Oh yeah, I'm getting tattooed right after this podcast. So usually there's a post show. Today there will be a very short post show because I'm gonna get a tattoo of an Asian guy getting stabbed through his head. And I'm gonna pretend that man's name is Asian John. Anyways, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Go out there, be safe, and as I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. Grandma got nutted on by a giraffe.